All right, because I'm using my phone and I don't get the big picture of everybody. Okay.
Yes, Mara is speaking on my behalf today.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry. Oopsie.
Oh, good. Have that confidence, girl. Keep that confidence.
All right, we are good to go.
Well, good afternoon. I am chairing this meeting of the Professional Services Committee. Today is April 11th, 2024. Can we please have the roll call?
Emily Kincaid.
Here.
Sylvia Wilson.
Here.
Dr. Shana Tharp Gilliam.
Present and accounted for.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a couple of informational items. The first is request for qualifications for the O&M building solar panels.
Madam Chair, the Operations and Maintenance Building is a strong candidate for the addition of solar panels. Some time ago, we had a study performed to identify a variety of alternative power sources, solar certainly being one. I'm going to turn it over to Jeff Ardros, our Manager of Capital Programs in Plant, who is going to tell you more about it as he continues to displace and dethrone the Director of Engineering and Construction. What's her name? Go ahead, Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you, Arletta. As Arletta just mentioned, we are always assessing opportunities for our plant's overall energy efficiency strategy. One of those opportunities that we are looking to move forward with is the design of solar panels to be placed on the roof of that operations and maintenance building, which is the first building on your left as you enter our plant. The professional services that are going to be going along with this are the design of those solar panels. It's an analysis of the energy consumption of the O&M building, reviewing alternatives for solar power generation system, determining the maximum energy available by installing those solar panels, identifying structural upgrades. This isn't just placing solar panels on a building. We also need to make sure that the roof can support those panels. So there's going to be a structural aspect to this project. And then resulting from all of those steps, putting together contract documents to either put out for a purchase order or bid, depending on the cost of the materials. This is a building that was built in 2014. It already is a silver LEED certification building. So it's great that we get to pursue this sustainability opportunity on this new building. So we do plan to release requests for qualifications later this month for those professional services. If you have any questions, I would be happy to take them.
Are there any questions in regards to this request for qualifications?
I have none.
Okay. Hearing none, we don't have to vote right now. What we are doing is simply looking to get approval from this committee to have a vote, take a vote on this when we have our board meeting.
Actually, this is simply informational.
Information.
This item.
Right. It's not an action item. It is an informational item.
Correct.
Yes, thank you for that. Okay, so let's move on to information item B. It's also a request for qualification. In this case, it is for CM services for the 2023 CIPP rehabilitation of the Upper Sawmill Run and Lower Ohio interceptors.
Madam Chair, we will turn this over to the Director of Regional Conveyance, who has a lot to say about it. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you, Arletta. Madam Chair, members of the board. This informational item is a request for qualifications for construction management services for the Upper Sawmill Run and Lower Ohio Liney project. As the board may recall, this project is for approximately 3 miles of cured in place lining located in the boroughs of Castle Shannon, Bethel Park, Stowe Township, Sharpsburg, and a couple other locations. The board awarded final design to GHD back in November of 2023. We are now approaching 60% design, and it's the time is right to get a construction manager on board, as we will be bidding this project later this year.
Are there any questions on this informational item? Okay, hearing none, we are going to move on to the third item of business, which is action items. First up is the review of a motion to approve the following shortlist for the inspection of the 300-foot radio brick chimney. One and two. So are we keeping these together? It seems like is there one chimney or are there two chimneys?
One chimney, two firms that we're asking you to consider shortlisting.
Okay. Can we hear the information on that?
Yes, you may. The chimney is iconic. It's the visual that people can see from so many places and say, I have no idea how to get there. It is time for the chimney to be inspected yet again, which will then, of course, lead to the preparation of whatever is necessary for repairs. Again, we will turn this over to Jeff. Jeff, please.
Thank you, Arletta. You stole that first sentence. That's exactly what I was going to say. This chimney and ALCOSAN, they're synonymous. The chimney has been in operation since the plant was first built. Kim Kennedy gave a detailed description of this project back in January prior to putting an RFQ out. So I won't go through every detail of it, but just a reminder of the high levels. This is a Class 2 inspection, which is recommended by the American Society of Civil Engineers to be performed every 5 years or so. So we are at that 5-year period. So now is the time to be doing this inspection. So we released that RFQ in February, and we received 2 qualification submittals. Those are the 2 firms listed on the agenda, ICC Commonwealth and Osborne Engineering. The Qualification Evaluation Committee provided thorough reviews of both of these qualification packages, and both are highly qualified to perform the scope outlined in the RFQ. So we do collectively recommend that the Professional Services Committee shortlist both ICC, Commonwealth, and Osborne Engineering to receive a request for proposals to initiate our next step of professional services procurement. If there are any questions, I will be happy to take them.
No questions. We have to get that chimney fixed.
Yes, it's an important icon. And so let's do that. I think I actually have a question though. Given that it's a brick situation, right? So there's like pointing and things like that need to be done. Were there other companies that were similarly qualified? How did we land on these 2?
These were the only 2 that ended up submitting qualifications. This is a project that, because of the cost of it, it's very close to that threshold. So it's been handled in different ways over the past. But in this time around, we decided to go the professional services route to make sure that we are getting a quality inspection done from step 1. That way we are not going to kind of short check ourselves on that first step before actually putting contract documents together. The inspection is extremely important to be done by professionals that do this sort of thing. Then we can put a contract together based on the results of that inspection. If I can figure it out, can I share my screen? We do have a small video that I don't know if you can see it, but the pointing is exactly what we have done previously. You can see where these little bricks have popped off. That's another area of repair that has been done. There was a bulge identified during a previous inspection where we had to do an emergency repair of putting bands on to make sure that we are protecting the chimney. But we did have this drone capture the video prior to putting this RFQ on the street so that everyone was dealing with a level playing field when putting a qualifications package together.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that additional piece of information. Having recently done some pointing work on my own house, I do understand that it is definitely potentially a safety issue. So we do want to make sure that we get that inspection done at a high quality so that we can move forward. All right. So
I was going to say, you said they put the bands on it to protect the chimney, and I'm sitting there feeling, well, to protect the people that are down beneath there, so they don't come
exactly
down and fall on top of them. Well, my goodness.
yeah.
All right. Anyway, I will move that we recommend this to the rest of the board.
Can I get a second on the motion to approve?
Let's be clear about the motion. The motion is to approve the short
Yes,
list.
excuse me. I
Right.
misspoke. The motion is we are approving the two that are on the short list so that they can go forward and then send them out on RFP. Gotcha.
And you are still screen sharing. You might want to take that down.
Okay, I'm trying to figure it out myself. Thanks.
All right. So can I get okay, so we got a motion to approve the following short list for the inspection. Did I get a second?
Yeah,
Yeah.
second.
Okay, second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none? All right, that motion to approve the following short list has carried. All right, moving on to action item B. The motion is to recommend a service authorization to Hatch under the agreement for retained engineer for an amount not to exceed $159,000 to perform the construction management scope of services on contract 1746.
Melanchthon.
Thank you. Melanchthon Pump Station Replacement.
Well done. So, Hatch, as our retained consultant, has provided support during the design phase. We'll go back to Mike again to explain how we're going to carry them into the construction piece of this. Mike?
Yeah, thank you, Arletta, Madam Chair, members of the board. The Melanchthon project, the pump station project, is for the replacement of a compressed air ejector station located in the Hazelwood section of the city. This ejector station, because of its complexity, has been given maintenance, some difficulty for some time. We will be replacing this station with a submersible package station at the same location. Project is currently out to bid, and we're anticipating award at the May board meeting. Given that we're going to be beginning replacement in a fairly short order, we need to engage a construction manager at this time. As Arletta stated, Hatch has been supporting us with design reviews and with other small components of the project. They are familiar with the project and have the necessary experience. And we received a proposal from them, and given the nature of the project, we recommend award.
Thank you, Mike. Are there any questions?
Nope, I think Mike did a really good job.
You.
Great. Can I get a motion to recommend a service authorization to Hatch?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion has carried. Moving on to action item C, the motion is to recommend modification to service authorization 346 for Prime AE for additional work associated with the for additional work associated with the remote pump station improvement project for an amount not to exceed $216,876.04.
Madam Chair, as you have indicated, this is a modification of an existing service authorization. Prime AE had been retained. Through the work that's been done up to this point, there's a recognition that additional work beyond what had been identified in that early scope is required. Again, Mike, if you would speak to it.
Thank you, Arletta, Madam Chair, members of the board. The remote pump station project is for various improvements to Ella, Corliss, and Melanchthon ejector stations. The Ella and Corliss pump station improvements component included the replacement of roofing, piping, spiral staircases, various electrical components, and HVAC equipment. As I mentioned, in regards to the Melanchthon design, which concluded earlier this year, we are anticipating award of the Melanchthon project at the May board meeting. So that one's going to be finished. Subsequent to finishing the Melanchthon project, a number of items had been added to the scope of the Corliss and Ella Street pump station projects to include replacement of the overhead crane and sanitary facilities, both recommended by our safety department. In addition, we've added HVAC work, roofing, and other work associated with the 07 access shaft, which had been designed previously. We received a proposal from Prime AE for these additional items. It has been reviewed internally by staff, and we recommend award.
I also see that additional time has been allocated for this effort.
Correct. Yep.
How does that impact any other associated projects that are impacted by that?
No, not currently.
Okay.
We had quite a effort coordinating with Carload Express on the permitting of this of the Melanchthon project, since it was directly adjacent to the tracks down in Hazelwood. So that was quite an effort just getting approval for that. But there should be no, corresponding impacts to other projects going forward.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, hearing none, can I get a motion to recommend modification of service authorization 346?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Okay. I don't hear any opposed. The motion to recommend these modifications has carried. Moving on to action item D, the motion is to recommend modification of service authorization 264 for 9 rooftops to continue supporting both strategic communications and public relations for an amount not to exceed $1,133,635.
Madam Chair, again, this is another modification of an existing authorization. 9 rooftops, formerly Mark USA, has been providing communication support to the authority for some time now. This will take care of the next year of service. This covers surveys that we do to gauge our position and presence publicly, production of videos We know you enjoy some of those Frankie and Friends videos immensely, but just basic overall communications support. It also provides for support for our governmental affairs group in, for the most part, managing the municipal data site. So pleased with the work, certainly recommend continued use of 9 rooftops.
All right, it's pretty straightforward. Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I don't hear anyone. I heard everyone say aye, so it sounds like we're good. The motion to recommend modifications of service authorization 264 for 9 rooftops has carried. That concludes our action items for this professional services committee meeting. Is there any new business?
No, ma'am, we have no new business today.
Wonderful. So with that, I would like to get a motion to adjourn this meeting. Our next meeting will be on May 9th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Done. Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
This motion, this meeting has been adjourned. Thank you.